Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you step by step how to make Kousa mashi laban, which is stuffed zucchini in a tasty yogurt sauce, northern Lebanese style. Each region has their own spin on the recipe and I'm going to share with you my family recipe. The zucchini is cored out and stuffed with a delicious mincemeat, rice and spice mix. It's boiled in a saucepan with a delicious yogurt, mint and garlic sauce and served warm. Whenever I make this, there's never any leftovers, but if you want you can make this and freeze it in meal-sized portions for when you don't feel like cooking. Please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the new videos I have coming out. The ingredients needed for this recipe are 12 medium-sized zucchinis. I also use basmati rice, a good quality mincemeat, natural yogurt, cumin, cinnamon, garam masala, cayenne pepper, black pepper, white pepper and salt. And I also use mint and garlic, butter and olive oil. To start with, I heat a fry pan on a high heat and pour in about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Then I add in the meat to start browning it off. This is 125 grams of mincemeat. You can use lamb or beef, this is actually lamb. Using a spatula to brown and break up the mince. This is 3/4 of a cup of basmati rice, which has been thoroughly rinsed with water. I mix the mince and the rice together for a minute and then turn off the heat. Now I add in the spices, 1 tablespoon of salt, half a tablespoon of cumin, half a tablespoon of cinnamon, 1/4 tablespoon of black pepper, 1/4 tablespoon of white pepper, half a tablespoon of garam masala, half a tablespoon of cayenne pepper. I like a bit of heat in my food, so you might want to reduce the pepper. I also add in 20 grams of butter, which I forgot to film. Adding it in while the filling is still warm so that it melts through and can be mixed thoroughly. The butter gives flavour to the dish. It also helps make the mix stick together and easier to stuff into the zucchinis. I set this mixture aside to cool down. Using 12 light coloured zucchinis. Only use the light skinned ones, as the dark ones are a bit too thin and don't taste as good. In Australia they're known as Lebanese zucchinis. Look out for the ones that are a bit fuller, as the slimmer ones are harder to scoop the insides out of without accidentally poking a hole through one. I start by slicing the zucchini top and bottom off and skim away any of the imperfections on the skin. This one doesn't have any, so I didn't have to do much with it. I'll be using this thin zucchini corer to pick out the insides. I'll measure about 80% of the way into the vegetable and place my finger as a stopper so I don't go any further. Be careful as the end is curved, so it's very easy to accidentally poke through it. If that happens, it's not the end of the world and it will still taste good. I angle the corer around and pick out about 60% of the insides. You can see here that I'm jiggling it around, and with practice you will learn how much to take out of the insides. Filling can be added to the sauce for this dish. If you choose not to do that, the filling can also be used to make zucchini ajje, which is Lebanese omelette. Usually when I'm coring out the zucchinis, I'll sit down and watch a show, as this is a bit of a tedious process, but it's worth it in the end. Now I've thoroughly washed these zucchinis in cold water and placed them this way down so that it can drain. I stuff the zucchinis about 75% of the way, as the rice will cook and expand. If it's filled too much, it will explode, as in the zucchini will split and the filling will go everywhere. Again, it's not the end of the world, but it's still going to be tasty either way. This is something you will learn as you make this recipe again and again and learn from the experience. Out of curiosity, I weighed the zucchinis to see how much of the filling they'll take. For this size, it's about 28 grams to 45 grams, depending on the actual size of the zucchini. This is 3 cups of water that have been brought to the boil. I'm going to add in all the zucchinis and then cover it with the lid. The cooking time will vary depending on the size of the zucchinis. When it's been boiling for about 10 minutes, I'll add in the garlic. This is 40 grams of crushed garlic, which is about 8 cloves. You may wish to reduce this amount, but I like it very garlicky, if that's a word. Next, I add in 1 tablespoon of salt. When it's been cooking for a while, the zucchini will start changing colour. I'm using a knife here just to see if we can cut through the zucchini easily. It still needs more time to cook through, so I place the lid back on and allow it to boil. Once it's done, I'll turn off the heat and add in the fresh mint. This is about 10 grams of fresh mint. If you don't have fresh mint on hand, then add in dry mint instead. My preference is always fresh as it tastes better. Next I'll add in the natural yogurt. This is 1.5 kilos of natural yogurt. I like the yogurt sauce to be nice and creamy. Again, this is an adjustment you can make to your taste. I gently stir it with a spatula, being careful not to dent the zucchinis. Sometimes depending on the ingredients, you may need to make slight adjustments. I'm giving it a quick taste to see if the flavour is right where I want it. This is something I recommend you do, so that you're always tweaking a recipe to your taste. One serve of this is 2 zucchinis in a bowl, and adding in the absolutely delicious yogurt and mint garlic sauce. This smells just amazing and tastes even better. It's a hearty comfort food that is very popular with my family. In fact, when I make it, there's never any leftovers. If you have any questions or suggestions, I'm happy to hear it in the comments section below. I hope you have a go at making this recipe, and I would love to hear how you go with it. Please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the new videos I have coming out. If you want to learn how to make your own natural yogurt without using a yogurt maker, check out my in-depth video that is linked on the screen or in the description box below. There's also a tomato sauce version of this recipe which is equally as good. Check out the link on screen. It's also linked in the description box below. See you in the next video. Happy cooking and thank you for watching.